your family just like I am, and you're the one that has to undo the generational curses or the generational traumas.
See,
that's deep. It takes
maybe
work,
too deep.
and you're gonna fall on the floor, and you're gonna feel like you're
Maybe
dying
too
a million
deep.
times. You know?
How did he take it?
He said, "I know, I'm not ready. I'm not ready." I said, "Okay, I hold space for that."
There's no
I
such
told
thing.
him this.
And there's no such thing. It's either you're ready, it's now or never.
Why did I get delivered to him in life? Because life said it's
You
time.
are ready.
You are ready.
But
But you have to like want it, right? I can't want it for you.
Trust. Jesus says, you just trust. Sometimes you, like when you and I spoke, there was some, again, I understand a person coming on the beach, this and that, but that you felt something genuine.
I did. You know why? Because he didn't lie to me. And I've been praying. No, I've been praying to the universe since this happened. I'm like, because this is what I said. Our last words to him, I said, for the next girl, just don't lie to her. Because had he told me truthfully, our biggest problem was I'm not a girl. I don't like to share my man. That's me speaking my truth.
Say that again.
I don't like to share my man. Like I don't like to share the person I'm sharing myself with because I think it's sacred, right? So if I believe I'm sacred, I don't want anybody else in between that energy cord. I don't want that. Okay, that's me speaking my truth.
That's your reality.
Yes, if his truth was like, hey, I'm not available for that right now.
He wanted to be polygamous.
Yeah, this is what I'm available
Was
for.
Did he voice it?
No, he would never to me. He would
I just
lie.
see. I was talking to this. I am polygamous too.
Yeah.
Never been not.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about this because I understand where you're coming from, and there's part of me that is monogamous,
Mm-hmm.
but there is part of me that's polygamous,
Mm-hmm.
and I can be both. I was in a marriage 16 years, and it was for 5 years it was monogamous, out of choice, because I felt great. It felt beautiful, and I felt so unforced. I didn't have to force, but once I started feeling that pull that I wanted to be intimate with other women, just as a animalistic desire. I loved my wife. The people that say, "Oh, no, I loved her even more," and me being with other women made me love her even more because she felt it.
Mm-hmm.
She was wise enough not to voice, and then she actually even voiced it because she said, "I feel it," and she actually even liked it because it made me charged more.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave us, had I not done it, I would have been, probably wouldn't have lasted as long because it charged me. So but in any case, but I see, with her I try to be open, but she would never accept it, and she told me, "I don't want to know." Even I said, "You know what, that's good enough." It wasn't good enough.
I was gonna say okay, but then on that end, I guess she spoke her truth. I'm different where I want to know because I'll feel it, and then that was the issue for me. Was I was like, I already know. I just want to be able to trust you, so please just say it to me. Say the words to me so that I know when
like
I
I'm
look
telling
at
you now, I am polygamous. Now you know.
Yes.
So if we ever, let's say, did decide to be together or not, you say, "Hey, this guy is like that." Tomorrow I may decide to be completely monogamous with you, but I know that I have a part of me that's that, and I would. This is to me. If I have this camera now, that's my saint. That's my priest.
Yeah.
I ain't lying, because that's who I am now. I will not even if I think of, like, if I see another person, or even if I think, I'll say. There's a saying by Cicero. There's an ancient Greek philosopher. He said, if it's good enough for you to think, it's good enough for you to say. Or don't think it. Don't think it. If you think, say it. Or don't think it, because it's as you mentioned, your thoughts are teleported on the sky. Everyone sees it. The energy is in the universe. He feels it. You feel it. Heart never lies, nor does it ever, nor can it ever be lied to. Like, you cannot be lied to.
That's, like, so when the words weren't matching the energy I felt, that's when it, like, that's when it caused me pain, genuinely, right? Because like I said from the beginning, I knew from the beginning, I was like, this man isn't a loyal man.
What does he do?
That's a good question. He's all over the place. But that's okay. That's okay.
He's young.
You know what? He's lived so many different places since we've been together, and I supported it all. I wanted him to genuinely...
Were you literally, like, had you had an opportunity to actually live together?
Live together? I actually came here because that's what I thought I was going to live here, so that we
should have called me. I told you. I would have told you. Live with him from the get-go. I have women. I make living. I have.
But he's young, and it wasn't meant for us to like live together
And I
yet.
tell you something. I tell you from my experience, and
Okay.
this is not just my experience. And if I'm interrupting you, we are in a breaking point. Let's get out. Sometimes we're not. But if I am ever interrupting you, just tell me,
No.
because sometimes I have so many thoughts I want to, and so are you. I love the way you think and express it. In my experience, and I can support it with a lot of literature and a lot of people in my ICU. If you're still very young, but even already, if you have a man that's the same age or younger, which is even more atrocious, it does not work. Or I should say does not work at least well, because the energies are not the same, because he's a baby. Your man should be at least 40, or at least in his late 30s, at least 10 years older, because then on many levels you will match better. He may still be immature, the particular man, but at least he'll be old enough chronologically, because he would have had, for example, if you meet right now a person who has never had a family, never had children, if you were 17 or 18, that's a different story, because you're both young, you're starting off. But now you're a bit more mature, and if you meet a person who's young and immature, this is what will happen,
That's literally what happened.
because he's still a baby. If you look at his life, they call this phenomenon, you may have heard of this guy Carl Gustav Jung. Is a Freud. You heard of Freud?
Oh yes.
Freud, that's his most famous student, who actually in many ways not outshines, but he's somewhere in the same realm. Carl Gustav Jung, he's a beast of psychology of last century. He's out there. He has these archetypes, which is, like the melancholic, this type, but he has an archetype that's called a eternal boy. Now, this society now, in the last couple of generations, we have been so, the ladies have been so emancipated and so independent, it kind of weakened men in many ways.
I agree.
So we're all a
1000%.
little bit of boys. My dad is already, my grandpa still holds his own. He's 98.
My grandpa's 93.
See,
and he's
that's
the
a
most
man.
man that I know.
Because back then there was no emancipation yet. So now, true, women were suppressed, but I think that
It tilted too much.
It tilted too much. So we need to.
Because I feel too masculine when I'm in relationships, where then the part
I
of
feel
me,
it.
where I want to be like more lustful and feel more sexy
When
and these
you
things,
said that,
I can't, because I have to hold these other things together, because they're not being held together by the opposite.
so men would back off because you are intimidating.
I hear that all the time.
It's not your fault. It's from your mom. She
She is. My mom has drilled into me since day one. It is you and only you.
Okay,
And
it's partly true, but partly should not be.
well,
You should be dependent.
I saw in my parents' relationship. I'm glad they stayed together, and I'm glad I had the family I did. But I will say this: when I looked at their marriage, my mom, she never felt her shit deep enough, right? So she would
She was very manly.
She would demasculinize my dad.
You're speaking
and
like I'm
in
speaking.
front of me, I was like, how
That's
was he-
disrespecting. Then she can't respect him after this.
Well, and
She
how's my
does.
dad gonna respect you? And once this is good, I
He
should have
gets
ever
suppressed.
heard this, but I heard my dad and mom fighting one Christmas.
Are they still together?
Yeah, and they're much better, and it's because they were pissed off at me, but I wrote them a letter that was 2 pages long, and I called them out on all of their shit.
When was this?
4 years ago,
Wow.
and I just said
You
I've
are
had it. I don't wanna do this anymore.
a riot.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was meeting.
And you
Little
know what?
did I
You know
know.
what though? I don't want to say it fixed their marriage, but it brought so much truth to the surface. They weren't
They
willing to tell each other.
needed you.
Yeah, I hit them both in the face with it, and I was like, "We all see it, so deal with it. I'm fine for it."
How many of you are there? How
4.
many siblings? 4. I got 4 as well.
Oh really?
4 kids with my ex.
Oh really?
That's why it wasn't easy, because
Yeah, that's a lot.
now get this, 4 years since we are divorced, I haven't seen them, nor spoke to them, mainly because they block me. Because of this, they can't handle, and they become obnoxious, and they drive me nuts because I love them. So I curse the shit out of them. because they piss me off, and I try to have a conversation, and they're gonna
Yeah.
facetious laughing, lying in my face, and making all these. I say, you know what, you just like your, now she became like that. She's a beautiful woman. People say I hate her. Well, I hate the way she acts. I love this, my mother or my kids. That love I felt for her never goes away. It's there. I cherish it because that's some of the most beautiful moments of my life, having kids and stuff. But I was gonna, before I forget, the fact that these waves are a little bit strange. Believe me, I've been flipped many times. But you know what my first instinct when I get flipped?
What?
You laugh when you see.
What?
First instinct is like this.
Oh.
Because my camera. Because I've lost phones. I even lost the camera, but I fished it out. What I was gonna say, the eternal boy syndrome, also known as Peter Pan syndrome, because Peter Pan never grows up in a fairy tale. That's this product of emancipated. It's a product of a very weak father figure. Your ex, or however you want to call him,
Hey, that's
didn't
fine.
have a father figure in his life.
Didn't. He does not respect his dad at all.
That
And I've
leaves him
told
with
him.
no order.
And I've told him a million times, I'm like, the healing starts when you start telling your dad the truth about how you actually feel. And I said, or it'll never happen. Because then you'll feel liberated. You don't have to carry the pain anymore. But you know what? I'm glad that I got to meet him and tell him that, and he can do with it what he wants. It's
But
not
are you
for
still
me.
on a civil terms, or you broke like you?
He's upset, probably. So he has. I mean, there's no reason to talk, but like he deleted me on social media, right away. I didn't.
That's hurt. That's because he's being mad. But you should at least, and at most, and at least be you've given each other so much love and affection and.
I'm just giving it time.
Do you still see a possibility with him?
The last couple days I've been like thinking about that.
I can tell you that you do. It's very
Yeah,
easy
like-
to see. Not easy. It's easy for me because I know
Yeah.
a certain hidden messages, and when people say,
You know why? Because when he's like, okay, this is what I'm saying when I couldn't fight the feeling. When he's raw and vulnerable and like in his moment with me, and
then you open up.
And when he like holds me and like the way he like touches me, I'm like, that would be enough for me. But the other part that I need, and this is literally what I've spoke this since day one with him, is like I need foundation, which means for me to be feminine,
Too young.
for me to like open myself up and like really
But
like.
you have a lady for a man, and you're a man. How can you expect? Excuse me for saying that, but that's the truth.
I can't respect him because I can't trust him. And also,
It's
I
not
can't-
just trust, because a lack of structure. Look how you need to, if you can freeze for 15 years, let him grow up at least 15 years.
I won't do that to myself.
I'm saying in a metaphorical something, this doesn't work. That's why you need someone that's just at least in his late 30s. The age is extremely important, especially for both, because sometimes people tell me, oh, ladies, I speak to a lot of ladies because I share my experience. I say, look, you're 40, you're meeting a 38-year-old, it's not gonna work. How do you know? I say, because he's weak. Not bicep weak, his spiritually, his energy is weak. How do you know? What if he's strong? I say, if he's strong, he wouldn't be with you. Because why would a 38 be with a 40-year-old? 38 would be with a 22-year-old, 24-year-old. Because that's a strong male who will attract a younger lady. So he either just wants to,
Okay, so I feel like actually, so I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like out in Miami and we were just hanging out. We were actually hanging out with, me and my friend were hanging out with people that were around their 40s, and it was intriguing to talk to them. They were older, and I just went through this experience, so this is a contrast for me.
single ladies.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there and I'm speaking to these men, and they have it together.
Men?
Yeah, they were 44.
Oh, men, I thought ladies.
Yeah, so me and my friend, and then my friend Katie, she's a girl too.
Okay.
And we're talking, and we're having these, conversing, and I was thinking that same thing where I was like, right, like I feel like I'm only an alpha female because I feel like the need to be, and I really want to meet someone that doesn't make me feel like I need to be alpha. I want to meet someone that makes me feel like I can put that
Try
down.
me.
you know?
Try me. How do I seem to you?
Huh?
No, I'm saying try me, for example. How do I seem to you? Let's be extremely pragmatic. Do I seem like a good match to you?
Do you want me to be honest?
No, lie to me.
Oh, of course. Okay. No. But it's not anything.
No, what? What did I ask again?
You seem like a good match.
Now, interestingly, you say that. I know that you don't think I'm a good match. Most women don't see me as a good match at all. I'm horrible. A medical doctor, well off, financially stable, knows a few things that very few people even know. Experience in the ICU for 20 years, that goes for quite a bit. And just has his shit together. And he ain't gonna fuck around. They all run. I live right in the beachfront. I mean, even on a practical level, which is important, not to be discounted. You'd think I'd be a hot commodity, not at all. Everyone runs.
Only for me, and this is why I'll say this, the only thing for me is like, in this honesty.
No, I want to hear.
I just don't want someone. How old are you?
48.
I want someone more in my 30s.
So you want a weak man.
I don't though.
The younger they are, the weaker, because the younger ones may not have a family. You need a guy who has kids already. Otherwise,
Really?
he'll be a baby. Because it's the age thing. If he in his 30s doesn't have a family, if he let's say he's 35, and that's cutting it close, it's only 7 years difference. And at 35, he's never ventured, because at 25 I was going nuts to have a family, because I'm Jewish. We got strict biblical rules. I'm not religious, but it's ingrained in our psyche. Get married, have babies. And I'm like, I'm 25. All my family got married in their early 20s, 23, 24. My dad had me at 26, and I'm like, hey, I'm 26. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with me? Where are my babies? And I was paranoid, like even ladies are not. So if the guy in his mid to late 30s doesn't have children, he's an eternal boy. He could stay that way forever. My dad is that way, even now, in many ways. So I'm saying to you, as a friend,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to increase my stock, although maybe I am. Subconsciously. No, but it's interesting. I tell you, I mean, the fact that you live so far, I see, for example, if you ask me, because I could tell you usually in a few minutes, I'm not going to discuss chemistry because that's a different discussion, but I see that too. But on a more practical level, my polygamy is something that bothers most women. And it's because it's something that they're not used to. And number two, they have no experience with it. So they think it's me being just wanting to fuck around, which is not, I actually almost don't do it at all. Because to find a lover, because I'll never lie, I have to bring a lover home. Go find that type of lover who will subscribe to me, bringing her openly to my woman, because most women will not.
Do I need to get off?
All right, hold on. Let me get you a little closer. Are you good?
Good?
You can't. Yeah. You got it. Perfect. But it's interesting. I tell you this. We are very. I have this preconceived notion, which is somewhat, it's a stereotypical thing, but I connect with a lot of European people, Russians, because most American people, vast majority, are not only not in touch with their inner being, they don't even care.
To be in touch.
To even have a conversation, or if I start telling them subconscious, like, well, whatever. It's not something, this society, the Western society, is so materialistically wound, like a clock.
Yes.
We have so much of this going on that we, like Buddha says, like I don't know if you know Sadhguru, all those people they say you have to stop and just take a breath and feel your heart beating, because I can't even feel my heart beating. I have to really so that's why it's such a rare treat to meet someone like you, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said hi.
Huh?
Thank you for bringing me out on the paddleboard.
I was quite impressed with you even saying yes to that. Now, what would you say to us Now, see, this is not the right way to ask a woman. I'll tell you 2 ways to ask a woman for what I'm gonna ask, and you tell me which one feels more natural.
Okay, thank you so much.
So I can say it like this. Would you like, now this is a horrible way of saying it. Would you like dinner tonight? That's a horrible way. Now what I normally say is, dinner is in 1 hour. Or we can do it in an hour and a half. I have beautiful fish. I have beautiful salads. And it's gonna be all on YouTube anyway. So if there's any, and I understand women say, oh yeah, I just met you. It is a little bit, what's the word? It may seem a little irresponsible for me to even invite a lady home, which I normally do. But you knowing me, I hope I deserve a certain level of trust. Plus, I told you, I am attracted to you. Our physiological aspects, we can discuss at any other point. I don't think either one of us is concentrated on that right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're going through spiritual moments more so than any. I have men over that I said, look, check me out. I enjoyed company of this guy much more than the lady who came the night before. Anyway, we'll say gratitude to this beautiful human being. By the way, beautiful also in many ways. We'll be right back. This is crazy.